Tommy Curran joins us on the Harbor One hotline. Tommy, good afternoon.
What's going on? How are you?
Well, just trying to sort of make heads or tails as to where the Patriots are at 3 weeks into the regular season. And I'll start with something, Tommy, that Fourier mentioned a little while ago, in that, we had been used to hearing in the old 16-game regular seasons back in the day that the first 4 weeks for the Patriots were always, I don't want to say introductory, but they were figuring out what they could do, identifying what they have, figuring out problems, da-da-da. Even though we're in the 17-game era, is really the same thing still going on, Tom? Or is that just a way for someone like me or others to fool themselves into some false hope that things are going to get better? Where are you at on that?
I don't think it's false hope that they're going to get better. They are going to get better. But they are going through we'll figure it out when September comes, less by design and more by necessity in 2023. I think that in years past, the Patriots had such an institutional ability to come in with a quarterback intact, receivers, tight ends, offensive line intact, that they could have pieces on either side of the ball that they were trying to figure out how they'd work, and they could still reel off wins, which we saw in 2019 to a large extent. Start the season 8-0, despite them believing they weren't a very good team, at least the quarterback, and that being borne out as the season went on. Kind of happened in 2018 as well, even though they won the Super Bowl. They lost to 5 non-playoff teams that season. This year, though, when we look around the offense, we have an offensive line which had one guy have a late surgery, or a surgery, I shouldn't say late. I don't know what the timing was on Onwenu. Another guy who wasn't really in condition, and Trent Brown, to even partake in minicamp. Cole Strange got hurt. Juju Smith-Schuster was signed despite an injury and a surgery, and he didn't spend any time with the team at all in the offseason to develop any kind of chemistry. So that's what we're seeing now is it's not by design that the Patriots would try and tweak things. It's by necessity that they don't yet know who they are because the decision's made.
All right, Tommy, pop quiz for you, okay? You got to put your thinking cap on for this one, all right?
Oh, boy.
All right, so all right, ready? So which of these two words best describes the Patriots' feelings after the win on Sunday? Is it joy or relief?
Relief, with a huge smile and joy because, yeah.
It's relief, isn't it? It's more relief than joy.
It has to be.
It's like, holy crap, we dodged a bullet.
But it's the same thing, too, Christian, when it's like, okay, that's kind of who we thought we were. It was windy, it was rainy, we didn't do the things on offense we would have liked to, but we weren't completely ridiculously bad. There were plays where people could say that we were, but, we were fine. And defensively, we choked their asses out. I use this analogy, and I bet a lot of our golfing friends out there will agree. Zach Wilson's touchdown drive was the equivalent of somebody making a birdie on a par 5 on their way to shooting a 112. He just put it together for three shots.
Yeah.
Boom.
And that's the only hole that he's talking about. No, you know what it is? It's like it's glimpses of what he is capable of doing, but it's not a clear sign that it's sustainable. So,
Yeah, it's like when I hit a good shot and I'm like, it's in there, they're in there. And people are like, yeah, they are. They never come out, though, so that's because you suck.
So you're going relief, hardcore relief with a slight smile and a grin.
I need to think about it more.
Yeah.
Lucky that it was the Jets that you were playing.
We could see a season saver last week turn this week into a season changer, though.
Ooh, look at you.
I mean, you sneak up and beat the Dallas Cowboys, you have changed your season. You're now 2-2. And as I said last week, and I got roundly mocked, I think, on both radio stations and on my own television programs, for saying the wins are everywhere. The wins are everywhere for this team. They could have beaten Miami. They could have beaten Philadelphia. And not because they were outclassed physically did they lose those games. They absolutely riddled their feet with bullet holes. So if they go into Dallas and play idiot-free, then they can win the football game because they are good enough if their quality control is high enough. Their quality control almost got them again this week. Penalties from Cole Strange backed them into a longer field goal attempt that they missed. Penalties from Juju and Trent Brown and Onwenu on basically consecutive plays took them out of the momentum that they had coming out of halftime. To me, it's the same stuff, writ smaller because they won the game, but it is the same quality control stuff that they've got to be on.
Tommy Curran of NBC Sports Boston here with Gresh and Fourier, where we do not mock and make fun of our friend Tommy.
Not to his face.
I don't know.
You lie.
Wow. I don't know if this is because the Broncos, with supposedly a good defense, allowed 70 to the Dolphins, in which adds the context that I asked this question. But the Patriots were dominant defensively against the Jets. They played very well these first 3 weeks. Can this be a top 5 defense in the NFL, or is that still a little too high? Is this maybe more a top 8 upper quarter type defense? Because, man, they were dominant against the Jets, against a guy who just really should not be in the NFL.
No, they're definitely a top 5 defense. And I absolutely held reservations about this team and this defense because of the entirety of 2022, because they got their heads handed to them by decent and competent quarterbacks. Didn't matter whether it was pure passers like Kirk Cousins. Didn't matter whether it was a one-dimensional guy who's still learning the position in Justin Fields. They got their heads handed to them on a regular basis. That's why I was dubious when people talked about the Patriots being an elite defense. The addition of Christian Gonzalez, a legitimate shutdown corner, is helping this team move to the next level. Additionally, guys like Keon White, Aquale, who it appears might be lost for a little while. Again, he's a little further down the food chain, but they are so deep in pressure, and they're so comfortable with their scheme and their ability to morph. This is a top 5 defense, and I think it will travel. It'll be interesting when they do get in, and who is it that they're going to face that's really a scrambling quarterback? Because Hurts is not a scrambling quarterback.
Allen?
Sure. Yeah, okay. So that'll be their real test, I think. These are all good tests, but that will be the test of, okay, have you improved against some of these guys who can run for 60 on you if they get going? But yeah, I think this defense will travel, which is vitally important.
So after studying the grainy footage of the cup check, debacle that was Sunday's game with Mac Jones, do you feel like Mac Jones's reputation is just ruined based on all the antics and dirty plays and things that he has been associated with? Like, how do you feel like the rest of the league, the players, kind of like see Mac Jones?
I don't think Sauce Gardner would have made a peep, nor would he have stood over Mac on a quarterback slide, nor would he have come scurrying in to body up to Mac on that play and slap his hand away if he didn't already have a preconceived notion of who Mac was. He showed him a level of disrespect that I think Mac might have partially earned on his own with his facial expressions, gestures, and call it dirty play, call it gamesmanship, whatever you want to call it. The book is out that Mac will do whatever he can to twist an ankle, stick out a foot, whatever. So I think as a result, you're going to see players, defensive players, look for opportunities to bump them, jostle them, whatever. If Mac Jones didn't already have that reputation, I don't think Sauce Gardner would have been looking for some kind of a confrontation. Now, when someone does that and then maybe gets hit in the helmet, I don't have a lot of sympathy for the guy because he's goading somebody into doing something, and then he's going to stand in front of a mic and say, "Oh, that guy did that to me," just to try and curry favor with other people and their opinions around the league. Oh, yeah, he did it to you too. Oh, yeah, Mac's kind of soft. So it's all self-fulfilling foolishness that just has as much relevance to me as the Taylor Swift crap. But I do understand why we have to talk about it. But I do think that that's kind of the mentality that leads to it. Mac's already got a reputation. So Sauce Gardner's going to body up to him in a way he wouldn't do to Jalen Hurts or to Tua or maybe Josh Allen. He's going to look at a little tennis brat in his mind and body up to him. And then Mac reacts and, okay, confirmed. But was it really confirmed, or were you just looking for it?
Tommy, I brought up earlier.
That's a good explanation by me.
It is. Nope,
Correct.
that's very good. And because I wanted to follow it up with, because I know you are not anti-hockey, is this the Brad Marchand part of Mac's career? Remember Marshy the first couple of years, walked on edge, did things like that. I made the analogy that eventually Marchand, even though he's been suspended a ton and got one in 22 and like that, there's a whole history there, which is why he gets busted. But it kind of feels like this is some of the petulance that Brad Marchand engaged in early in his career that can be coached out of someone, at least you hope. Is that fair?
Yeah, to me, it's more Bobby Hurley at Duke. And somebody has to show Mac.
All right.
Okay.
Somebody
said
has
Grayson
to show Mac
Allen,
a
right?
video. Like Mike Krzyzewski did with Bobby Hurley. He showed him a video of his facial expressions and gestures, and that helped to cure Bobby Hurley. Good. Hockey's totally different. Slew foot and knees in the thigh, any of that other stuff. It's part of the game for a smaller player there. It should not definitely be part of the game for a quarterback to engage in stuff that is on the line of dirty to defensive players. And I know defensive players who talk about quarterback protections are so full of crap that it makes my stomach turn. Nobody has to be more courageous, for lack of a better word, physically courageous than a quarterback standing there surveying downfield and taking hits from guys who are, in some cases, 70% heavier and going at 15 miles an hour. So calling somebody soft is bull at the quarterback position. And Max shows week in and week out that he is physically pretty friggin' tough. But he does act in a dirty fashion on too many occasions. He's not soft. He's not in any way not resilient or tough. But if you would cut the other stuff out and stand up after you get hit, the way Tom Brady did when Nate Clements knocked his helmet off and go back to the huddle, it will look differently. And he would be regarded differently.
Totally agree. So last one for me. So bad timing to go against the Dallas Cowboys after that road loss to Arizona?
I think so. Talk to Todd Archer, and we'll have his interview on Quick Slants later today. And on the Patriots Talk podcast, he's been covering the Cowboys for a while, and he says that when the Dallas Cowboys lose, they generally respond very well the following week. So they got pantsed. But I think the Patriots have a good Dak Prescott history, so we'll see how it goes.
Great stuff, Tommy Curran. You'll hear him Thursday with Jones and Mego, and on Sunday during WEEI Football Sunday. TC, thank you, friend. Talk to you soon.
All right, guys. Take care.
Good stuff from Tom Curran there. Good breakdown as well. I did like that answer. We're trying to get in as much as we can in 15 minutes with our guy Curran.
I do think it's relevant, though.
The Taylor Swift.